Okay, so this is oil, crude oil, the way I see it. The way that you find this on TradingView is the CL symbol, okay? And it pulls up this chart. I've got it on the 1 week. At the moment, crude oil is at $57.87. Uh, it has gone as high as 145. It did absolutely for, I think that was just 1 day. It went absolutely crazy there. I don't understand what on earth happened there, but that was sometime during the pandemic and it actually had a negative price. But let's ignore that and say, oh, 17, 18 is more or less the low. So it could range between 18 and all the way up to about 150. The thing about this chart, though, is it's not inflation adjusted. So if you think about the value of the dollar since the 1990s, gosh, it goes back to 1984. If you think about the value of the dollar, and you could buy like a Big Mac and fries and a Coca-Cola for like $1 in the 80s, and the dollar used to be quite a valuable currency. That is not taken into account in this chart, and a lot of people are going on about the value of the dollar and how it's decreasing, and China is now trading oil in other currencies that are not the dollar, and it's not backed up, and it's not backed up with gold, and Fort Knox is empty, etc., etc. All the national debt that they're issuing, and how that's exponential, and they really are devaluing the dollar. Well, I wouldn't say that it's reflected in this graph. I mean, if you were to buy a barrel of oil at 50 something dollars, that seems like an absolute bargain to me. Right, so let's zoom in to the daily chart. What have we got going on here? So it's a downtrend, isn't it? We're going down. Things are going down. More specifically here, let's start drawing some pretty lines. Let's say, okay, what about this kind of channel here? There we are, that's going down. If you'd asked me this question back here in October, late October, I would have said, oh yeah, no, that's a classic sort of, what do we call that? Is it a cup and a handle? I think they call that the cup, and then there's a handle pattern on the chart, and then the idea is that it goes off from there, okay? Well, that's been invalidated, so none of that actually stands anymore because it broke that level there. So once you have a daily confirmation that is lower than the bottom of the cup there, that's no longer valid. You could argue there's another one forming there. There's the cup and there's the handle there. And then is it going to shoot off again? Who knows? I don't care actually. This is not financial advice. Do whatever you want. We're all adults here. I would say that it would be extremely positive if price action moved above that line, and it would be extremely negative if price moved below that kind of supporting line there. Is that actually the supporting line? Can I do better than that? That seems to... I mean, you have to bear in mind that support is never a single line. It's more of kind of a zone, but that seems to be a zone there. I don't know. You could say sort of the zone from there down to there seems to be support. It broke into that support and bounced up quite nicely. Long term, I mean, I don't really know how to interpret this graph because, like I say, it doesn't take inflation into account. We've had a lot of inflation since the Russia-Ukrainian war, but that's the way that, hypothetically speaking, if I were to buy oil, it would be based on that. So above the yellow line there, good. It might be time to buy it, and you might hope it would go up to this kind of level here. Might seem appropriate. The previous highs. You have to remember that actually, previous highs, when you go above them, they turn into support. But when you're coming back to them again, they sort of act as resistance. So don't have a crystal ball, but if you could say from there to there, you could make a nice sort of 10, 11, 12% if you wanted to. The downside, on the other hand, I mean, how low can oil really go? I mean, how low can it go? 2020, when the world was ending and they thought the economy was bust forever, we're down at sort of like 40-ish per barrel. So it depends what your risk appetite is. My risk appetite is not very high at the moment, so I would wait to see what it does here. That's just hypothetical. I'm not telling you to do anything whatsoever. This is not financial advice. Beginning of February, you know, these trend lines, they're holding at the moment, but something's going to go pop in February, so, or sooner than that. So let's wait to see what price does and then react accordingly. But I get the feeling that we don't actually have to wait too long to see something happening here. Like I say, February, not a long time to wait, and we'll know either way. We'll know if it's going up or if it's going down. Anyway, that's just the way I see it.